All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So it's been a while since I've covered the crypto stocks, and today was kind of a crazy day, right? But I will do what I did on the last video. We'll use the other system to look at the cryptos themselves. You'll see I made a quick difference. On the last video, I had RSI down here. I changed it to start including the simple moving average, the 50 MA. All right. Again, I need to upgrade this thing to get more indicators. It's a little annoying, but it is what it is. Then I'll come back here, use our normal stack, and look at a couple of the stocks themselves, right? So I want to cover Bitcoin. I want to cover Ethereum. There was a request for XRP. I'll quickly take a look at that. I actually don't know what that looks like top of my head. And then I want to cover Marathon and Riot. I want to cover WULF. I think I'd like to look at any. Hut, I think, had a big day today as well. So we'll see what time looks like, all right? But crazy day today, and really it was all driven by Bitcoin. Kind of like the last 30 minutes was wild, actually, all right? But before we do go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can, please subscribe to this channel. Share this video online with your friends. Comment good or bad if you disagree. Look, anything you can do helps so much with these YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here, giving me your time, oh, I'm so grateful for it, all right? So a lot to talk about on the tickers themselves, but what I really want to do is start on the cryptos themselves. All right, so this is excuse me, this is the Bitcoin chart that we looked at last time. All right, the difference is I removed the RSI that was down here and I replaced it with the 50 moving average line. It's now this new blue line. All right, so I drew this 71.9 and change resistance, and I mean, we basically hit that to the cent. It was wild, right? All I really did was took the top of this candle, the top of this March 11th, right? It wasn't the biggest to the left. This one you can easily see was the biggest to the left. But yeah, this was kind of the biggest and highest one up, right? Like the easy thing would have been to take this line and kind of call it a day. But yeah, that's why I drew that line. And I mean, you saw the wick right there, right? Like we just barely have any change between the wick and my line, right? So 72,000 is and remains the money line, right? I 71,987, blah blah. 72,000. We got to break that line. We don't want to just get over it. We got to break it, okay? What's now starting to happen on the daily for Bitcoin is we're living under this 8 moving average, all right? And today was an interesting day because yesterday was a bad candle. Yesterday was a I just lost the 8 moving average candle. Let's see if we confirm. All right. And today I started, I'm going to say it again. Today was wild. We actually were pushing about 70. What was the high of the day? It actually broke 70,000. You can kind of see it up there. It says 70,011, right? It really took, I mean, I think the 15 minute is going to show it. Look at this in a 15. So this is 1 hour. That's 2 hours right there. Basically in the last 2 hours, it's been a horrible drop. Green, red, right? I say it on the daily. I say it on the weekly. I say it on small stocks. I say it on the indices. I say it on the cryptos, right? Green, it is what it is. And look at all this, right? That's kind of a confirmation right there. That's 2 decent ones. But when you do that big bad boy right there, bad girl for my ladies out there, oh man, you need a real big confirmation, right? It doesn't matter the time frame, but let's come back to the daily, right? So again, we are potentially losing the 8 moving average. Normally I would show the 20. I'm seeing it on a different one. The 20 is like right around here. It's actually very tight with, you know what? Let's cheat a little bit. Let me turn this into the 20. real quick, just so you can see it. We're under the 8, we're under the 20. Yesterday lost under the 8 and the 20, right? That's why I moved this thing to the 50, because I was like, look, and I haven't said it yet, but I'm going to say it right now. We cannot lose 65,000. Talk about horrible dyslexic right there. Sorry, no, it's actually 66,000. 66 is the number. If we lose 66,000, look how far down the 100 is. Dun, dun, dun. Nope, it's not the 100. There was one I saw that was low. Was it the 200? Is that the one that it was that we're worried to falling to? Yeah, okay, no, that's way too low. That's way too low. But yeah, I mean, look, you know how the rhyme goes, right? You break them, break them, break them, you lose them, lose them, lose them. I liked seeing the 100 and the 50 actually being really close. I know this is a little bit annoying, and I do apologize. I probably should upgrade this thing at some point soon. But look, this is the 50 and the 100 right here. You've got a good, tight little stack between 66 and change, and then that 66 flat, right? This is 65.9, right? But this being Bitcoin cannot lose 66,000, all right? Immediately, we kind of need to recover that 70 number, right? Like we want to get back over that 8 moving average. That's how I had this set up. Let's go back to that view, right? Like I need us to get back over 69.6, but yeah, this is a little scary. Yesterday was bad. Today's not doing the best of erasing it. And the way it's looking, we might be actually heading down to 66.3. I can kind of see that. And one more time, let's just look at it in the hourly view. It is crazy to see what these 2-hour candles did. Like that is wild. I wish I had more indicators here so we can kind of see what was happening. I don't know if there was something that was running too hot or what it was, but at the minimum, with the very minimal information I have, I can see two things, right? I said it first, I'll say it again. Green, 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 red, red, red. The next one was you lose the 8. We know the 20 was close. It fell all the way to the 50, right? And hey, it's at least trying to maintain the 50. But yeah, if we lose that, I can kind of already see it here on the hourly. If we don't recover, we might be coming to that 66 and change number I just mentioned a moment ago on that daily view, right? So crazy action today on Bitcoin. We'll take a look at Ethereum. What's my view on this one? I'm gonna, I think, try to keep it consistent. I'm looking at this one. I'm looking at index crypto. All right, let's see if there's ETH on index crypto. Okay, cool. Let's look at it like this. Okay, cool. So what are we looking at here? A lot of the same, actually. Let's come into the 1 hour chart. Boom, boom. Same green, green, green. Same red, red, red. Same lose the 8. Same drop to the 50. Trying to maintain it right now. 34 and change looks very realistic here if things don't hold, right? A lot of similarities to the Bitcoin chart, right? We were under the 8 for a bit. Doji. Yesterday was a scary candle. Today was looking so promising, except for the last couple hours where we're now really starting to get worried if we're going to drop to the 50, right? The 50 is sitting at 33.8. I was just talking about 34.5 on that hourly chart, right? So a lot of the same comments. I don't think I need to repeat them too much, right? It is critical. It is critical for this thing to get over 3,700. All right, I think if we can recover 3,700, obviously we'll be over the 8 moving average. We'll be over nice. We'll be well over this big candle, which is what I want to see. And then from there, let's draw the line. Oh, this is a pretty easy line to draw. Horizontal right there. That's what we got to get over. We basically got to break 4K very well. That's the goal on this thing. Do not lose 3,400. All right, this thing is saying 33.8. That's where we're going to start to get worried. Oof, yeah, let's not talk about that till we have to. But again, we literally can see it. Red. Green. It could be a scary red all the way down to maybe even as low as 31.5 on this thing. Be careful with both, all right? XRP is the last one that I'll look at. This one says the index one right here. I think this is what we'll look at, right? Yeah, cool. Nope, I don't think that's it. Is this right? Because I thought this thing was in the change. No, I'm looking at market cap. That's not what I want to look at. We'll look at the Binance view. Can't keep it consistent everywhere. Yeah, I remember. Okay. So what are we looking at here? Oof, we're under the 8. We're under the 50. The 8 is definitely going down, down, down. Let's try to see where the rest of them are. Where's the 20? We're under the 8, we're under the 20, we're under the 50. Oh man, it feels like we're under all of them. Where's your 200 right now? We're under all the moving averages right now. All right, we are under all 5 that we normally would be. And really, have we lost this? We're basically sitting here. All right, this must hold 47.5, 47 cents and a half. Otherwise, I can very easily see us dropping all the way to maybe 43 cents. My mouse is at 42.8 right now. I even think this might be the stronger support at a flat 40. All right, so it's critical you don't lose this. I'll draw the line too. You don't want to lose that right here. That's actually a flat 47. I think I can draw that. I think the line I had talked about earlier was 47.5, something like that. But 47 cents is a real critical line because you can already see it. Green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 green. Whole mess of nothing could be a bad red, red, red down to that like 40 line that I said. So this one I actually very much like the least. You can see why. Again, it's under all the moving averages. You know I don't like that. I wish I had more indicators to kind of highlight it all. All right, so let me know if you want me to cover more cryptos. I'm really not that familiar with them, I'll be honest with you. So viewer requests are very much appreciated. All right, so let's jump into the bread and butter. Let's jump into the chart readers view and talk about Marathon and Riot on this one. And goodness, look at that right there. Look at that right there. You're talking about a doji candle right in the thick of 3 moving averages. All right. Today, some people thought that this thing should fly as high as $21. Some people actually thought that this thing should drop. You can see it. Some people genuinely believe this was ready to break all of them and fly. Some really believed it didn't even deserve to be over all of them. It basically opens and closes at the exact same spot, moving 2 cents on the open and close of the day. All right, so this screams uncertainty. All right, there is a lot that can happen, and it's one of 2 things. We're either dropping all the way down to 1930, maybe even as low as like 1880, or we're probably going to go for this 22 line. I think there's a real good shot of a 10% up or a 10% down. We obviously could see another doji and just kind of stay in the lines till we see more. I think a lot of it really was that Bitcoin resurgence, right? Like we saw what looked like a scary move to all of a sudden we're back at 70K, right? And I'm sure that had a lot of things going. As it looks right now, Bitcoin's getting a little bit shaky, and you know that's a little bit worrisome, right? MACD and RSI actually aren't that bad. Yeah, I see the red over green on both. You know I want green over red, right? Green is the go on the stop on the traffic light, right? Red says stop, right? So I want to see the green over red, but I'm at least liking the numbers. Volume's decent, and it's definitely been nice over the last 6, 7, 8 days, right? We got to escape the lines. There are too many moving averages, and hey, even when it's only 3 of them, you go up, you come down, you go up, you come down, you go up. You're just in this little tornado of lines, right? We need to escape, and we need to escape well. Otherwise, we're kind of stuck. Bitcoin needs to smash 72,000 for anything to really happen here, all right? And I obviously talked about the numbers we can't lose on Bitcoin. Where are we on the weekly here? It's the same exact story. And it's actually been the story for a full 2 weeks now. We've been living in these 4 lines. It's now starting to live in these 3 lines, but the daily and the weekly has too many moving averages. It's just stuck in these lines and it's very difficult to trade. I would much rather, like, I'm going to get to it shortly, right? But Wolf, all right? Wolf was stuck, Wolf was stuck, Wolf was stuck, Wolf broke out and went. All right. I have very, very, very often seen the opposite where it downs, it just loses it and falls, right? But it's better to break the money line and watch it go. Right now, for me, Marathon needs to get over 2250. If Marathon can get over 2250, it should be a beautiful ride up there. Until we get over that line, we're just at the mercy of these moving averages, all right? When I come into Riot, it's funny because I can easily start here by saying I think I was wrong here. I think that's a real good place to start. Things still haven't been confirmed yet, but I was looking at a stock that was under all 5 moving averages, and I don't remember the last time I covered it. I don't know if I actually saw these two back to back or not, but yeah, I assumed we were coming down, not sitting up here. All right, so easy to say I got this one wrong. There's actually a very, very beautiful channel right here. Let me draw the lines. I'm basically drawing the lines at the moving averages, right? I'm going to delete these lines because the moving averages matter. But just look at this thing, right? Red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, 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 green. Like, this is a very fast up and down. And look, it's not big money, right? But that's a decent 10% right there. Never poo-poo a double-digit gain on a single day or two. You know what I mean? Like, the bank gives you a couple percent a year. So anything on single days is better than most people actually get, right? But that's a good channel. I would love to get over them all and watch this thing go to 13. Obviously, getting over 13 brings even bigger mountains of red, 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 and green, 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 right? I don't think it's worth talking about. I'll draw one more. I'll draw it at this. Looks like that's half of that, top of that. I like that. Don't think about 16 just yet. That's a big difference between the $10 that we're at. But look, the goal is 1060. The goal is basically 12. And then the goal is 13 and change. From there, we'll start thinking higher. But if we can make that step up, that's doing pretty well. This actually has some decent lower indicators, right? You actually see the green over red here. Still a negative MACD, but it's been making a nice climb, and volume's trying, right? But again, I think it's all about Bitcoin. Riot has a little bit of a decent going on, but again, the same Marathon comments I'm going to at least say one more time. You go from the bottom, you go to the top. You go to the bottom, you go to the top. You go to the bottom, you go to the top. We're in a stack of 3 moving averages, and we might just be kind of trapped in those, all right? So look, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Let's come into the next stack, Wolf. Oh man, the Wolf kept howling here, all right? Look, you know, the first thing I want to start with is there were a number of viewers that commented Wolf is having some financial troubles. And oh man, I had no idea. I really had no idea. One person said that there's actually a reverse split that's already been approved by the board. Another one was just talking about how the company is in financial trouble. They need money. To me, I've always said this, and I'm going to kind of say it on this chart, right? And believe me, this is a double-edged sword, and I'll talk about both sides of the coin, right? I've always said keep these as random letters. Wolf is nothing more than a random 4 letters jumbled together, and I don't care if it's 3 letters or 5 letters. I will trade anything if the technicals are good. If there's a company out there that's public that makes chart readers is a horrible YouTube video, like posters and t-shirts, and like all they do is bash chart readers, but the technicals were good, oh yeah, I will for sure invest in those. And I don't use the word invest, I'm just going to swing it, right? But like when you can separate yourself from a stock, that there's value to that. On the other side, if you know that there's a reverse split that's approved and I don't, you have the advantage. I sincerely believe that. I have lost money on good setups that I didn't know earnings was in 2 days, or I didn't know that the reverse split was already happening and I got caught on the trap door, right? So believe me, it is a double-edged sword. This one is a good side of the sword. It's a you called it on the coin flip kind of thing, right? But it's such a 50-50 thing to know the fundamentals and play the technical game, all right? So just food for thought on my end. WULF has done the job, right? Like WULF was looking like it escaped all 5 moving averages. It looked like the MACD was positive and ready to go. It looked like the RSI was a real healthy 40 that can make its way to 80. It looked like volume was picking up and holding. All of that happened. All of that allowed this thing to, I mean, basically go from 250 to kissed 4 today, right? Big move, completely technical, very much independent of the Bitcoin chart, right? I still have it. Like, let's just Bitcoin real quick. This one. Bitcoin has been flat to down. WULF has been running. Right, so a little interesting to see that this is a little bit disjointed from the Bitcoin chart, but hey, again, the technicals were here, and I've said this before, and you know, I knock on wood, I've done well with this stock, right? And to me, I'm comfortable trading a stock I've done well with, right? And it's one of those things where yeah, it did the job. This thing very much turns. Like, there's 2 things to think about. Number one, the RSI actually has gotten over 80, but not by much. All right, so maybe there's a little bit of a push. That's an interesting and kind of scary doji, actually, in my eyes, and I'll talk about that shortly. But this thing gets a high RSI and drops, gets a high RSI and drops. Like, this thing can reverse quickly. Keep that in mind. The next thing I want to talk about is this candle. Listen, I don't talk about candle patterns a lot. Yo, what's up to the group? What was it called? Give me a second. Ah, damn. Shooting star. Boom. Okay, so that, right, I only talk about dojis, all right? I believe the doji is an important candle because it screams uncertainty. There are many different versions of a doji, and I generally just lump them all together and kind of call them all a doji, all right? A shooting star, I don't think is a good one. And I kind of see a shooting star right here. Maybe you can also call it an abandoned baby top. I have no idea. Nonetheless, I'm going to kind of, oops, wrong one. I'm going to call it a shooting star. That kind of scares me, on top of the fact that we're at an 80 RSI. So this was beautiful. This made the run from this channel to that channel. That's a beautiful trade. Like, that's what technical analysis, that's what swing trading is, right? So big ups on the WULF chart. I'd be a little careful, but I think the weekly kind of said it a lot if you looked at it. There is nothing but red all the way up to almost 6, right? So I'm going to draw this one off the weekly. Let's look at the daily to see if there's another line to draw in between. Yeah, we'll draw that right there. Let's put you right there. This might try to kiss 5. Otherwise, I can see us actually coming back to 350, maybe even coming down as low as 330. Because again, this thing knows to go, look at it, just right here, up and down, 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 but it doesn't lose the lines, right? So, excuse me, as long as it holds, it should be okay. We'll take a quick look at HUT right here. This was an interesting setup right here. This is an interesting setup right here, right? This thing has tried to escape but couldn't, tried to escape but couldn't, trying to escape. And each attempt was better, right? Couldn't get over the wall, holds the lines. Got over the wall, loses it kind of, but holds the lines and actually stays over each of the days over the 200. And it now seems to be escaping. This is probably the line it needs to get over. I wish we closed at 11.05 today. Clearly a couple cents under that. But yeah, I think if this gets this gets over 11.05, we're going to come to that 12.15. Maybe even start to look at the next mountains up, right? Which are some very nice mountains, as you can see. I'll probably draw my line right there. Yeah, I like that line. Bottom of that guy, kind of half of that guy, bottom of that guy. I like that. This is setting up well, and hey, maybe like WULF will be a little independent of Bitcoin itself, all right? So I wasn't planning on doing a 25-minute video. I think this is pretty good right here. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions, even if you disagree. Hey, thank you so much.